I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. I'm here today to talk about shooting the Xpression. I've been now shooting it for about 3 to 4 months, and I want to talk about my progression with the Xpression and shooting it, and the progression in myself. So when I got this bow, I found the bow very heavy, and you would have seen that on my other videos. And in fact, my scores dropped when I got this bow, and I spoke to PSE about that. And they said, look, some people have instant success, as Chris Perkins had when he first picked it up and won a tournament straight away. One of my friends grabbed my bow, shot a perfect 300 straight away. I didn't have this with when I shot the Xpression. And I switched to a back tension release aid, and I've been shooting a while now. And so I want to just go through my progression over the last 3 months with this bow. So my scores have gradually been improving. So, and to make my scores improved, I've had a plan of attack, and what I've been doing is I've been shooting every day. So we shoot about 70 hours a day, and I shoot with a couple of people. In here in my shop, it's an 18-meter shooting range, and I've been watching videos of top shooters like Dave Cousins and those sorts of people, and you know, there's a whole bunch of them, Chris Perkins, Stefan Hansen, whole bunch of people. Now the key of it is to shoot lots of arrows. These people shoot lots and lots of arrows, so me shooting 70 arrows a day is not going to get me to their level of archery. But I'm hoping me shooting 70 arrows a day is going to progress my scores. And what I'm doing is I'm doing weights to strengthen my shoulders, because when I started I had weak shoulders. And in fact, I had to shoot a lighter bow to build up my shoulders. Even though I've done weightlifting before, my shoulders would hurt, so I've been doing strength training in my shoulders to build that up, and overall core stuff to build it up. But I've specifically been concentrating on my shoulders because I don't want my shoulders, left or right, to basically have a problem. So I'm adding weight to the bow, and that puts more pressure on my shoulders. So I've been doing exercises on shoulders, front, back, sides. So rotor cuffs, up and down, flies to the back, lying on a bench press, pushing up, all exercises to increase my shoulder strength, as well as been doing cardio. So I've been trying to increase my lung capacity. I'm an asthmatic, and when I moved to Adelaide a couple of years ago, I've had really bad asthma since I've been here. So in fact, I didn't have the lung capacity to have good scores because I'd shake around just because I ran out of oxygen. So I've been trying to build that up. So I've been basically walking and running and trying to build up my lung capacity, which is working. So I'm off steroids now. So that gets me back to shooting 70 arrows a day. So I've added more weight to the bow, and I actually find the bow quite light now. And I built the bow up to 60 pounds. And when I built it up to 60, and you'd see in one of my earlier videos, I did have muscle problems when I was shooting this bow. Just the fatigue factor of shooting so many arrows, especially the back tension, because I was aiming longer. And I was getting knots in my back, so that's when your muscles kind of become really rock hard. You can get massages for that, but so I had all those issues. So I've dropped the poundage down. I've gone back to 75% let off. Now my progression in this, when I was first aiming, if you see my first videos, I'd aim at the gold and my pin would bounce around the gold. So I'd bounce around the 9, and people go, what's wrong with you? And I'd say that's just shooting. You got to shoot more arrows. Then what happened, I found my pin started to sort of settle around the 10, so I'd bounce around the 10. Still hover, you know, bounce around the 9. So my scores went from, when I started with the Xpression, I started off about a 283s, 284s, 285s, and I was about a 290 shooter out of 300. Then I built up to about 290s with this bow. So I was shooting pretty consistent. Then I started shooting 294s, 292s, and then all of a sudden I shot a 299. That was like last week. And I shot 298, then 297, back-to-back 296s last night. Then tonight, Saturday night, I shot 299. And even the 9 was like, it was so close to the 10, there was no thing. So I just want to go through some of the steps to get here. The more I shoot, the more steady my pin becomes on the target. So now my pin's almost just hovering on the 10. You've got to have a plan of attack. So you've got to say, look, I'm going to shoot 70 arrows every day regardless. I'm going to do weights. I've got a plan, and you've got to see how your plan goes. So my plan was to become stronger, to become fitter, and throw those arrows down the target. And it's not rapid firing. I'm taking my time, I'm aiming, and at the moment I'm concentrating on my release. I'm trying to have a good, clean release feel when I come back. So when I shoot the shot, I want the release to feel really good. So I'm concentrating on that, I'm concentrating on keeping this shoulder down. So I just want to have a few shots, spin around so I can sort of show you the success. So right now my scores with the Xpression far exceed anything I've ever shot before. So I feel very comfortable now. I'm going to shoot a good, I feel comfortable I'm going to shoot a 300 in the next day or so. And from there, I then want to shoot back-to-back 300s. In the Vegas shoot, there was only, on the first day, there was only 46 people who shot a 300. And people go, oh, 300 is nothing. And that's fine, right? This is about your own personal goals. My personal goal is to shoot a 300 and be confident that I can shoot a 300. And from there, I want to shoot back-to-backs. If I can, then sure, I'll count X's and all the rest of it. But you set your own goals. Don't bother what people tell you. Even though I'm sort of telling you what I do, just relax and set your own goals and say, this is what I want to achieve, and see if you can achieve it. And if you can't, try something else. Just work harder and aim at your goal. So I shoot a few arrows. I'm going to shoot 6 arrows and we can see where they go. Hopefully they'll go on the 10. And the thing is, like, I've been shooting since I was a kid, and I was Australian champion when I was a kid. That my mindset now is so much better than it was when I was a 13, 14-year-old shooter, and even when I was a 20-year-old shooter. Now if I shoot a 9, I don't really care. If I shoot an 8, I don't really care. I just think, next time, concentrate on the next arrow. I watched a professional shooter and she said, when I lose a tournament, it doesn't worry me, there's a tournament next week. That's the way I feel. If you win a tournament, no one's going to go, oh wow, you won that tournament last week. It's not going to happen. And in Australia, there's no prize money, really. So, heck, if you got a whole bunch of trophies, that's well and good. But it's about yourself going, look, I can do this. I put the time in. I put the effort. I put the work into it to get these results. And that's what you're trying to achieve. So, that's what I'm going to. Now, with bow tuning, actually, I haven't done a lot. I did shoot this thing through paper, and it shot fine. But I've been concentrating on myself, because yourself is the biggest variable in this whole archery attire. So I've been concentrating on myself and getting myself steady and shooting more arrows and getting my body in a condition where I can shoot decent arrows. So, and where I won't fatigue. So we'll shoot some arrows now and we'll see how it goes. So I'm shooting about 70 arrows a night here in the 18-meter range. It's taking me about two plus hours. I'm doing about an hour of weights. I'm trying to do an hour, and this is really hard for me to do because I obviously have a full-time job, which takes longer than a full-time job. And I've got all the household duties to do as well, cooking, cleaning, all that sort of stuff. So it's very, very hard to fit time in. I've got a girl, Claire, she'll be on one of my other videos. She shoots 150 arrows a day, and someone made a comment, you need to shoot more arrows. You know, she's a full-time student, and I reckon 150 arrows is awesome, like fantastic. And she's one of the, I'm going to say she's the best shooter in the state as far as recurve, men, women, the whole lot. And it's because she puts in the time, like technique's good, you know, she seems very sensible. But again, like if you can't shoot 150 arrows, I can't. I don't have the time. I come in at night time, I'm not watching TV. I come in here and I shoot. You do what you can. If you can shoot 60 arrows a week, shoot 60 arrows a week. The more you shoot, the more time you put in, the better you'll shoot. So let's just sort of shoot some arrows, and hopefully you can see that I'm a little bit steadier than I was at the start of the videos. So I'm shooting a Scott back tension release aid, PSE Xpression, Axel sight, bee stinger stabilizers. These are gold tip arrows. But it's all been good so far, so we'll shoot some arrows. Also, I've got rid of my sling off my bow. Now, I normally shoot with the sling, and my sling actually broke. But I found, like if you shoot some bows, they'll jump straight over your hand, so you need a sling. With this bow, the bow seems to sit there, so I haven't bothered replacing it. I'd probably feel a bit more secure if I did. And actually that shot I was thinking about the sling, but still feel alright. So one thing I found with shooting all the time, before I used to break the 10 line, so I used to get 290, so I used to get 10, 10, 9, and a lot of those 10s would be touching the line. Now I'm finding my arrows are actually inside the 10 line, and the 9s are really close to the 10 line, so I'm really not shooting 8s, so my groups are really starting to pull in. So, but it takes time. But like I said, just have a plan. And there's a girl on YouTube, and I'll put her link down the bottom. I really like her tube. She's got a 100 arrow a day challenge, and she's there, terrible weather, dogs barking in the background, and she's there shooting her 100 arrows with her longbow or recurve, and I'm like, yeah, because it's hard work. It's hard work to do this all the time. You're not getting paid for it, so it's something you love, and it's just easy to sit down and watch TV. So yeah, I think it's cool that people have goals and they go out and get them. So. That one I was really thinking about my release. I was thinking, actually I forgot about my release. I really wanted to get that release nice and solid in the shot to come back, so I really worked on that shot. Okay, last arrow. So that's 6 arrows. We'll go down to see how they went. So with the Xpression, a couple of things. I probably mentioned them before. There is an ability here to move the limbs left to right. And I've got a few people with Xpressions now shooting them, and they've experimented with that, and I've experimented with that, and I'm back in the center. I know why you do it. I just don't like the idea of it. I like everything in line. I like concentrating on my shooting, and I'm going to say not the equipment. I'm pretty confident if a robot was to shoot this, it would shoot perfect scores. I'm less confident in myself than this product. So the strings on this bow, everything's been awesome. I have dry fired this bow, which was a mistake. One night there was a lot going on in the shop, and I was delayed, and I did shoot it without an arrow, and the bow was perfectly fine. That was at 60 pounds. And yes, my sales rep and all that, nothing was broken. The strings were fine, the cams were fine, the limbs were fine. And I've been shooting this bow every single night. Like I said, at least 70 arrows, and I've I dry fired about 3 weeks ago. I'm not saying dry fire your bow. Please never dry fire your bow. But this bow held up. So the cam's 60 pounds, no arrow, no problem. I think the module might have come loose. And I have this little screw down the bottom here has come loose. So the module screw, watch that on the Xpression, and you can put a little bit of Loctite on it to tighten it up. And all screws on your bow you should check. We'll go down now and have a look at how those arrows went. Okay, so I'm at the target. I haven't rigged it or anything. That's my score from the, if you can see it, from the 299 I just shot. I shot 60, 60, 60, 59 and a 60. This is a 59, there's a low 9 there. And I'm happy with that. And don't beat yourself up when you shoot a 9 or an 8 or a 7 or miss the target. Like, I accept that. You'll see, like, I shoot bad scores. You know, I had one arrow which was shooting an 8 all last night, I think it was, the night before last. It kept shooting an 8 all the time. It'll be in my quiver here somewhere. I marked it, and all I did is I twisted the knock to the next position, and then start shooting the 10 again. So, but I don't know why that was. It might have been the vein was hitting the arrow rest. But I don't worry about that, because to me it's like, I know, like, I'm happy if I shoot a 283. When I say I'm not happy, there is nothing wrong with shooting a 283. Do you know what I mean? When I started archery, I used to shoot 250s. So everything's proportional, and you know, you pat yourself on the back when you go, yeah, I shot a 299. That's cool. That's what you're aiming for, and I'm aiming for a 300. This bunch is not going to be a 300 for me because I started with a 59. That's cool. Maybe I'll get a 295. That's what archery is about to me. It's about that consistency, and why I score every night is because I'm trying to assess how I'm going. I'm trying to assess how my training's going, how all this hard work's paying off. Like I said, the other night I shot two 296s in a row. I'm happy enough with that. I'm happy now I've shot 299 within the last 7 days twice, and I've shot 298 and 297 last night. That's where I'm going to. And with your archery, do the same thing. If you shoot 220s, be happy with 220. Know that you're going to shoot a 200 one day, but one day you're going to start shooting 230s, and then you'll shoot 240s, and you'll shoot 250s, and that's why we practice, and that's why we do this. A lot of people come to the shop and they go, we hate shooting paper targets because it's boring. If you find this boring, there's a whole lot of things on YouTube. But if you find this boring, it's just because you haven't put the time in to try and get a perfect score. And I always say to people who come to my shop, score your arrows, see how well you go. Because if you're just shooting, oh yeah, I'm shooting all right, how well are you actually shooting? You know, to me, I've got to shoot 300, and that's my goal. Originally, I was happy shooting 290s, but now it's like, I reckon I can shoot a 300. I reckon I can do it back to back. If I can do 300s back to back, in this state, in Australia, I'm going to be competitive against anybody. So I might never get there. I may never get there, but I'm happy with the bow. I love PSE, and I'm enjoying this whole process of trying to shoot every night and try and become a good shot. But it does take its toll. I'm sleeping a lot less, but hey, it's good fun. I'm Stephen Ham from Archery Supplies. Enjoy your archery. Thank you. Bye.